Boy groups and boy bands have been a hit in the music industry ever since. We have NSYNC and Backstreet Boys who released iconic songs during the 90s and early 2000s. But before, we had BTS or One Direction as boy groups hitting the charts in the millennium with their pop genres. We had D12 in 1996. Now, don't mistake D12 as a pop boy group. D12 is a hip-hop rap group formed by world-renowned rap star Eminem and his 5 friends in the 90s. You might ask, the name D12 only has 6 members. There's a logical explanation for that, so we're gonna dive deep and take a trip down memory lane on the rise and fall of D12. Welcome to On Some Hip Hop. Before we get started, let's wake that YouTube algorithm by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. It goes a long way for us, and we truly appreciate the help and support. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Who is D12? The group was formed in the late 90s, and their core members were 6 rappers who went by their own aliases. There's Eminem as Slim Shady, Proof as Dirty Harry, Bizarre as Peter S. Bizarre, Kuniva as Rondell Bean, Mr. Porter as Con Artist, and Bugs as Robert Beck. They originally wanted to have Dirty Dozen as a name because of the unfixed number of members in the group, but the name was already taken by a jazz group, causing them to shorten it to D12 instead. The group had members join and leave throughout the span of their active days due to different circumstances, and we saw the end of the group. But how did D12 rise up? Rise and fall of Detroit's D12. Off from a rough beginning, D12 has faced death even before dropping their first album. One of their members, Bugs, was murdered in 1999 during a picnic. After his death, they still continued to make music as an honor to Bugs, and even recruited a friend he talks so highly of, Swift, or Swifty McVeigh. During their debut EP in 2000, the Underground EP, D12 was clearly at a great start when this album went platinum with productions from Dr. Dre. Their album released in 2001. Devil's Night followed the first footsteps as it also gained a multi-platinum status. This record featured productions from Eminem and Dre, and also lyricism transition from the members as they mirror Eminem's new No Fucks Given style. Their singles, such as Purple Pills and Fight Music, also took a hit on the charts, as these showed their versatility in music. Beef with Royce the 5'9". Now, rising stars are always inevitably prone to beef with other rap artists. Upon their success with their tour, Anger Management, in 2003, Proof, one of the D12 band members, developed a rivalry with fellow rapper Royce the 5'9", who has close ties with Eminem. For reference, the duo of Royce and Eminem collaborated on a popular song called Bad Meets Evil in Eminem's most popular album, the Slim Shady EP, in 1999. However, Proof and Royce elevated their hate with each other by continuing to release songs that kept slandering their names. This culminated in Proof confronting Royce outside a nightclub in Detroit in 2003, which escalated in both a fight and having their guns being drawn out at each other. Before anyone got seriously hurt, both men were apprehended, and they actually were put in adjacent jail cells next to each other. Their sophomore album changed the group's future for good. D12 World was released in 2004, and their single, My Band, was on repeat on the airwaves for many years to come. However, this was regarded as a one-hit wonder because the entirety of the album was believed by many to have lacked cohesion. It was as if it wasn't made by the same band, but by different individuals. There were a few highlights in the album, specifically Bugs' tribute, Good Die Young, but the album wasn't as successful as the first one. It was definitely something forgettable that their fans easily grew out of. In 2006, another tragic incident happened to the group. Proof was murdered in a Detroit nightclub with 3 gunshots. This caused D12 to be torn apart, because it seemed that Proof was the glue holding them all together. Unlike Bugs' death that brought them closer together, Proof's murder likely weakened D12 and their future. This made Eminem battle his demons alone, drowning in addiction and depression. And although the group reunited in 2008, Eminem took no part in the recording of Return of the Dozen. Even with its sequel, Eminem was absent. The other two members of D12, Busy and Mr. Porter, left the group, but reunited with Eminem's song for D12's Shady 15, Bane, in 2014. Even if they are teasing a third album, it's highly unlikely that they will reach the same popularity against today's artists. Most millennials and Gen Z crowd know D12 as the group Eminem used to be in, a crew he once called his brothers. Where are the members left? This is more on the production end of the music industry. He's had his fair share of guest appearances, most notably performing at the halftime show at Super Bowl 56. But the 6 core members of D12, where are they now and what are they up to? The core's members include Bizarre, Mr. Porter, and Kuniva, have released music even since the group's inactive season. Bizarre has released an album called Matter of Time just this year that can be streamed on Spotify. Mr. Porter's latest release would be his 2019 album called Letter to Sydney that showcased his singing voice. However, with 15 tracks, only 3 had his voice, and the rest were merely instrumentals. Kuniva, on the other hand, had a 2020 release with his album, Alpha Underdog, with 9 songs, which focuses on his own sound that's been well received by D12 listeners. The other familiar name who wasn't in the 6 core was Swifty McVeigh, who has also been active in the music industry. Although he and Kuniva did a collaborative album, My Brother's Keepers, last 2020, he also released an album recently called Detroit Life 2. It's a sequel to his 2020 album, Detroit Life. Eminem, as we all know, has released Curtain Call 2, and the sequel album outsold all the other albums on Billboard 200 since its release on August 5th, 2022. This includes K-pop boy group Enhypen's Manifesto Day 1, Beyoncé's Renaissance, and Harry Styles' Harry's House. This further proves that hip-hop is not dead, but rather alive and well. The real Slim Shady really is standing up and out among the crowd of musicians past just hip-hop and rap. Conclusion. Although they are no more a group of artists who work together, D12 members remain intact with their friendship. They work on their individual music growth and fame, and still help each other as much as they can. Rest in peace to Bugs and Proof. We all know their music will be remembered. As for the other members, fans are more than supportive with their solo careers, especially with Eminem's huge fan base. What do you think about D12? Do you think a full-on collaboration would come soon? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next video. Until next time, Awesome Fam.